What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS live stream. We cover the DraftKings Main Slate here. Build your DFS lineups, top picks, winning picks. We got it all covered here. Everybody is going to be all excited about this huge mammoth slate. And, well, look at that. My boy Henry Wilson back here. I hope you had a nice little vacation, little time off, Henry. How was it? Did you get some baseball into your week at all?
I caught a few games from my hotel. I was traveling for work, so for the most part. But I got to watch a little bit of baseball. But unfortunately, I was in Phoenix, but didn't get to catch a Diamondbacks game. So alas, but I'm back. Excited to be back. Excited for a nice big slate after yesterday's madness and weather and everything. So yeah, should be good.
Yesterday was so gross. I mean, John and Pemba and I did the preview show the night before. We were like, yeah, here's a 5-game slate. Could be a 3-game slate for you. And it was just, I mean, listen, Mother Nature, she rears her ugly head always in the month of April. We've already got one game postponed today, Yankees Cleveland. So that one's not happening. Pull that sucker off of the main slate. Still flush with a ton of top plays out there, a ton of value that I'm sure we've had. And let's just kind of get to it right now. You ready for to dive in here, Henry?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Those out there, appreciate you guys joining us here on the Fantasy Alarm DFS live stream. As always, please hit that like button, click subscribe, never miss a show. We do a preview show the night before. And we release that nice and early so you can kind of get the flavor of the slate. And now we dive in here for our illustrious next 4 p.m. slate. And here we go. So let's start off here with the pitching. As far as that goes, where are you at here as far as the top end? Kevin Gossman limited the last time, concerns about the shoulder that were from the spring. Is he going to be on a pitch count? How many pitches is he going to throw? He threw fewer than 70 pitches his first time out. Yamamoto got beaten up by the Padres the last time he faced them. And Freddie Peralta going up against probably one of the more exciting lineups. Yet, listen, 3 very talented pitchers, tough matchups all around. Do you pay up?
Yeah, there's a lot of pitchers I like all across the slate today, but I am willing to pay up. But there's really only one guy I want to pay up for today because, again, you highlighted the concerns of Gausman. I kind of don't want to touch that. I want to avoid that until I see him, making sure he's healthy and throwing. And I really like Yamamoto. I know he's going against the offense that it crushed him over in South Korea, but I'm giving no warrant to that. It was a weird series all the way in South Korea. Spring training wasn't even over yet. His first inning in the major leagues, I'm throwing out because after that, he's thrown 10 innings without giving up a run, 13 strikeouts, and a 0.7 whip. And that was against the Cubs and the Cardinals, 2 good offenses. He looks awesome. Not worried that the Padres are going to hit him like they did in that first game. And I think he's going to continue to be great.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've seen with some of the Japanese pitchers, well, listen, Shota Imanaga looks phenomenal right now.
Amazing.
But look at Kodai Senga last year, got decimated early on in the season, wasn't used to starting as early as they did. And then as the season went on, if you looked at his monthly splits beyond the first month of the season, they got better and better, and he looked absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, I'm with you here on Yamamoto. I definitely think that he is worth spending up for. And I liked his strikeout props look great for tonight here. And I think that this is a nice matchup. And listen, there is some win equity here. You guys can always go and check the Vegas odds page over at Fantasy Alarm, see which pitchers. We also have it in the playbook. Who was on the playbook? Was it Radowitz on the playbook today? I didn't even take a look there. It didn't even take a look. My bad on that.
Yes, he was.
It was him. Okay, good. So Jason Radowitz is on the playbook. You go check that out over at fantasyalarm.com. If you don't have a subscription, do yourself a favor. Listen, we cover some great stuff here on the show, and we give that to you for free. But the stuff that you'll find inside the DFS playbook is absolutely fantastic, and it's your one-stop shop. We give you, everything that you need. And like I was saying, best odds for a win, top options for strikeouts based on prop numbers. So we cover all of that in there, and you can go and get that over at fantasyalarm.com. livestream.com/win and get yourself into the to that subscription. So I'm with you here with Yamamoto. I was going to say Michael King has been a little bit on the struggled first in that first outing of his with like 7 walks, and so he's just been kind of honing that command. Dodgers are a tough lineup.
Yeah, big time.
All right, so where do you want to go after that? Mid-tier value here. You could look at a guy like Max Fried, who's still yet to put it together, but he's got this matchup against Miami, who looks terrible. Waka, Houck, Detmers. The last time Houck and Detmers faced each other, that was a big game for each pitcher, and the strikeouts for Houck were just unreal.
Yeah, I really like a lot of these guys. I was very torn of my favorite here between Waka and Houck. Big fan of both those guys just as pitchers and, kind of in the matchups they have here. But Houck's my number one. I think, again, last game was against the Angels. He struck out 7, only gave up 4 hits. He's looked awesome in his first 2 games. Granted, it's against Oakland and the Angels, but he's facing the Angels again, who don't really have a whole lot of offensive power outside of Mike Trout, it seems. So I expect more of the same in this outing, possibly 7 strikeouts or more again. And he's just looked really good. I like Houck in this matchup coming in at a pretty good price.
I like him as well. But my call here was Waka. I'll pay the extra $100 to give me Michael Waka. You could look at the way the Mets, unleashed the fury on the Braves in yesterday's game, but let's also forget it was Andrew Winans on the mound for the Braves, a AAA pitcher who had just gotten called up on Sunday and did this spot start, and then they hung him out to dry. They made this kid pitch 5 innings. By the end, the score got out of control because the Braves were just like, well, screw it. We'll put Luis Guillorme, right? Well, and have this middle infielder pitch for us here to kind of close things out. So, I'm not too worried about the Mets, especially against a guy like Waka, who does know how to command that strike zone and can be deceptive with his pitch mix. So I like him over there. Let me ask you about, let's see. First off, Andrew Abbott. I think there's some nice strikeout potential going on here against the White Sox. And then I'll throw this out there. Trevor Rogers, just out of curiosity to what you think, because if you look at the Braves numbers against left-handed pitching this year, it's very middle of the road. Like it's like a 302 weighted on base percentage, like a 24% strikeout rate. They have not been successful against lefties. Stat to correct itself, or trust in Rogers possibly.
Yeah, Abbott, I can get behind that. I agree. White Sox are terrible. He has good strikeout upside. Rogers, I do not agree. I know the Braves have been mediocre against lefties, but I don't think that's going to continue. It's a small sample. They're just such a scary offense. I like Trevor Rogers as a whole. I think in a different spot, I could go back to Trevor Rogers. I like him as a pitcher, but that price, when you can go a few more $100 to get to Houck and Waka, and he's facing the Braves, I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, okay. Neither do I. And I've got in the best bets article over at Fantasy Alarm a little Ronald Acuna prop being like, this dude's only batting like 160 against lefties this season right now. Guess what? He's about to break it.
Yeah, and Ozzy Albies, someone just commented, also crushes lefties. Like he is, dominant against lefties. It's not going to continue. The Braves' offense is so scary.
All right. Any low end pitchers that you that you might like under 8K? Anybody out there really stand out to you?
Man, not really. I mean, I like Tyler Wells in Baltimore's not bad, but the Brewers' offense is decent. And I think there's just so many question marks with the guys down here when there's a lot of guys at that, mid to top end that I like so much. I'm just too afraid of all of the guys on this lower end. How about you?
I like Jordan Wicks against Seattle, as John and Pemba says, Seattling. Once again, the strikeouts are just unbelievable as they are right now. So I think there's some strikeout possibility over here for Wicks. I think that's a nice spot. I do like Brandon Pfaadt going up against the Cardinals. This Cardinals lineup, I mean, it's got Arenado and Goldschmidt, and yet this lineup's still not doing anything. Is Lars Nootbaar the key that's going to unlock the Cardinals offense today? I might kind of treat him as like a value play in the outfield, but I still think Fott's got some really nice potential and upside here. Could go. His strikeout prop was 5.5. I like the over on that one here for Brandon Fott. And I just think Matz is a gas can waiting to get destroyed by the Diamondbacks.
Oh, yeah, fully agree with that. I don't trust Matz at all in this matchup, definitely on the Diamondbacks. And yeah, I can see that. I think Fott is a great pitcher. I can see that potential there. I do love Lars Nootbaar also, but is he really going to turn this Cardinals offense around in his first game back? It's probably not going to happen.
No. His return scares me in a different way. It's like, all right, are they going to send down Victor Scott or are they going to send down Jordan Walker? One of these two kids is getting bumped for Nootbaar, and forget about it when Edmund shows up and Dylan Carlson gets healthy again.
Yeah, it's going to be a logjam real quick.
All right, one last pitcher I'll ask you about, and this is only because Johnny brought him up on the preview show. Paul Blackburn. He has looked pretty good so far. He has decent, strikeout potential. He can go deeper into games. This is Washington. Now, that is a team. The only criticism that I had was Washington seems to be a team that's low on strikeouts, and they know how to, drive the pitch count up. They know how to, really take pitches and really just go deep into the count. That was my only concern on that, but it's hard to argue against how bad Washington's offense is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the strikeout is the concern. Washington seems like a slam dunk always for streaming against, but in DFS, they don't strike out a ton. So sometimes it doesn't have the value. But yeah, Paul Blackburn, pitching in Oakland, which is a pretty, pitcher-friendly park. Washington's never going to do a whole ton of damage. I wish he was a little cheaper, but that's still, pretty cheap for going against Washington. I could totally see going for Paul Blackburn. I think he's a good streaming option. He could maybe get some strikeouts there. So, yeah, I don't hate it if you really want to go the cheap end there.
Okay. So you don't hate it, but where you're kind of living is probably where I'm living right now, and that is in that Waka Hauk kind of a range there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite for today. I just think the upside of those guys is so much above any of the cheaper options that I'd rather pay up a little bit.
Beautiful. Let's go to the catcher position here. Obviously, you can pay up for Wilson Contreras. Sal Perez has Severino. That's always a nice matchup. Will Smith against Michael King. You've got the other Contreras going up against Brandon Fott. I don't know. I mean, John and I have always kind of lived on the old pay down at the catcher position and looking for lineups to see what's out there right now as far as value goes. But where are you at with catchers today?
Yeah, I'm usually of the same mindset. I want to pay down most of the time for catcher. If you want to live at the high end, I like Sal Perez hitting in the 4 slot against Severino, who I don't really trust yet to be able to shut down an offense or keep the ball in the yard. And that Royals offense, I mean, what they did yesterday was stupid, but overall they've been pretty solid. So I don't mind that, but I'd rather save the money for other places and go farther down.
Yeah, I'm looking at some lineups as they're out right now, looking for some potential pay downs that are actually in the lineup. The one that John and I continuously go to is, we start off with Yainer Diaz, and then they started pricing him up.
Yeah.
So now we've switched to Ivan Herrera, and that's been working because he's, his bat has stayed in the lineup the way it has. So we haven't seen St. Louis's lineup as far as that goes. But, looking down here at the catcher position, I will say Marino does hit lefties well. Mm-hmm. Is a nice spot to be. Tyler Stevenson's in a good spot here against Chris Flexen. I'm a fan of. And then is Alejandro Kirk, 6th in the lineup tonight against Feltner. Feltner's looked pretty good. But,
yeah, Kirk's looked pretty bad so far too. He's looked a little lost at the plate. I also really like Shaylong Lears. Obviously not confirmed in the lineup yet, but I think he's he provides some really good power potential. And
did I miss him? Where did he go?
He's down a little bit. He is 3,200.
32. There he is.
Yeah, he's in the lineup. I like his bat.
I think he's got good power potential. Obviously the 4 home runs. The strikeouts are a little bit much. Yeah. It doesn't really help you out in OBP. It's definitely a sink or swim play, but it's not a play that, if you're going to sit here and you're going to pay down.
Yeah,
You might as
most
well
catcher plays are sink or swim though. So
Connor Wong, you're a Red Sox fan. And Pembo always loves Connor Wong going up against a lefty.
yeah, he hit a big homer last night up off the bench over the monster, so that was pretty sweet. And yeah, he should be in the lineup here against Detmers, which I like Detmers. But for 2,900, Wong, he's got a decent bat. It's definitely not a crazy place to go.
Yeah, James McCann in the lineup. Nick Fortes also in the lineup. Fortes is the lefty-righty matchup there. McCann batting ninth. It is against Freddie Peralta, but if these Baltimore bats do what they're supposed to do, they could chase for Peralta after like 5.
Yeah, that's true. There's nothing exciting from those guys, but you're talking about paying 2,300, so they don't have to do hardly anything to return some value. It's nothing crazy there.
All right, shall we go to first base?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I don't know. Ohtani. You could do lefty on lefty crime with Matt Olson. Freddie Freeman is in a fantastic spot. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting second in that lineup against Feltner. Where do you like as far as the pay-ups go?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to go wrong here at the top of first base. There's just so many quality, great hitters. But I really like Christian Walker. He's on the cheaper end of these top-end guys, and we already said I'm waiting for Matz to just blow up. He's looked decent so far, but I mean, there's no way he's going to be able to continue to keep runs off the board. And Christian Walker is just a masher. He's looked awesome so far this year. I just expect him to continue to produce. And in this matchup against a lefty that I don't trust, it just seems like a slam dunk.
Well, that's the thing. Spoiler alert, I'm in on the Diamondbacks. They're my favorite stack for tonight. I'm very anti-Steven Matz. I've always been anti-Steven Matz. And, so yeah, getting some of these righty bats in there. I've been using Gurriel and Walker a ton, been using Blaze Alexander a bunch. So very happy to, Eugenio Suarez has been, a decent play, certain matchups there. So I love Christian Walker as well. I will never argue against Christian Walker. Further down here, give a little, I'll give Berger love at third base as opposed to first base, but if we're paying down here, who do you like? Vinny Pasquantino has been on a tear going up against Severino. Christian Encarnacion Strand, he's actually batting third tonight against Flexen, who pitches to a ton of contact. So Reds kind of shaking things up with their lineups too. Any mid-tier guys?
Yeah, I think there's a couple good options. Like I said, CH batting third against Flexen, but even like Bell against Frito hasn't looked solid. But my number one here is Vinny P. Batting third against Severino. He has 6 hits in the last 2 games. 3 of them are extra base hits with 2 doubles and a homer. He looks locked into the plate. This Royals offense looks for real. And I really like Vinny P as a hitter. I think he is going to continue to rise and be a big part of this offense. And he is just crushing the ball right now.
He's absolutely crushing the ball, and Severino just looks absolutely terrible. He has been better against left-handed hitting, but I don't think he's faced like a real quality, lefty bat, and especially one as hot as Pasquatch is right now. So I'm in on that, baby. I love that call there. A little further down, I'm sure Jared Walsh will probably get a look against JP France as the lefty first baseman there. Anything in the value tier or below value tier? Oh, Bobby Dahlbeck just got called up. Oh, I bet you're psyched about that.
No. Well, for years, I've been concerned at why he continues to be in major league lineup there. Like his bat can't hang. So no, nothing down here really screams to me as being worth dropping into a lineup when there's just so many great bats not far up from here.
Speaking my language, we move on to second base where Mookie Betts lives atop, but Ozzie Albies against a lefty.
Dude, yeah. I mean, Ozzie Albies against a lefty is just impossible to ignore.
Do I just pop him into our lineup?
Probably. Yeah. It's against a righty, I'll almost never play him, but because the price doesn't change hardly the righty lefty matchups. So, but when he's facing a lefty, he's so good. It's unreal.
Yeah, I love using him. Obviously, at the high end, other alternatives, Ketel Marte going up against Matz. I do like Jose Altuve against what's that?
As Marte also hits lefties well.
Yep.
It's a switch hitter, but yep.
I said I'll give Altuve a look against Dunning. I think that Dunning is a hittable pitcher, and Altuve's got the experience against him. Semien can live anywhere up here at second base. We obviously love Albies because of the matchup here against the lefty. What about in the middle value? Where do you like the most?
Yeah, I have a hard time here in this middle because it's like with Ozzy Albies at the top, it's like $1,000 lower even. I like some of these guys in the middle, but why not just pay the extra 1,000 for Ozzy? My kind of opinion of second base today is you're either paying up or like go all the way down and go down to like I like Bryce Terang or even one of these Orioles guys, Jackson Holiday or Jordan Westberg. Like get down lower of some of these cheaper bats who have some pop and can provide something. I think, Holiday doesn't have a hit yet, but he's gonna get there eventually,
He's
right?
Due.
He's gonna, yeah.
He's
at
actually
home. Like, I don't know, it could happen.
I mean, I like the fact that they're just leaving him down there at the bottom of the lineup, work some stuff out, kind of figure it out. Because I mean, he's back-to-back 0 for 4s, 2 strikeouts. He does have 2 runs scored and an RBI, but I mean, again, he's definitely going to need some more time to develop. I do like your call here of Bryce Terang. Obviously, the stolen base potential is really good. He's and he's just hot at the plate right now, right? 4 doubles and a home run. They really aren't expecting that kind of power, that kind of pop out of the bat of Terang.
No, absolutely not. Because I mean, he can provide great value without that because he's had a couple games this year where he's stolen a couple of bags and like put up huge numbers without the power. But you start throwing some power in there, he's super dangerous. So yeah, with him actually adding some extra base hits and even a homer, I like Bryce Terang.
All right, I'll go Terang over both of the Baltimore Oriole guys. I love them, but you just never know with Freddie Peralta. Could be a little on the intriguing side. All right, well, listen, I'm not going to sit here and sift through the Adam Frazier's and Santiago Espinals of the world. We're locking in Albies here as our second baseman. We gave you Bryce Terang if you really want to pay down. Let's talk about the hot corner here. Again, Riley is always in play. He's going up against the lefty. I'm not ready to commit to Bregman yet at this price. He's just not delivering for me. Berger against Fried, who hasn't looked good. I think that's an intriguing pay up there as well.
Yeah, I really like Jake Berger. I think, again, you could pay up for Riley for sure, but I think Fried we know that he's a good pitcher, but he hasn't really shown it yet. I think it might still need some time settling in. So I really like Jake Berger in the righty-lefty matchup here. And if you're going to pay up, I think that's where I want to go.
Cool. Yeah, I don't want to use Machado against Yamamoto. Michael Garcia just doesn't have the power that you really want going up against Severino. I know he's got the stolen base potential, but I'm not into that. I do like Suarez here against Mats. If we're going to move into this, middle tier, I will not thumb my nose against Suarez, nor will I thumb my nose against the lefty Max Muncy going up against Michael King. Muncy just went yard the other day. He's looking pretty good right now. He's working on the plate discipline. It ain't great. Still 17 strikeouts already, but dude just mashes.
Yeah, there's a lot of strikeouts so far, but also his price has dropped. Like 4,000. I don't know if he's come in that cheap so far. It seems really cheap for Max Muncy with that power potential. So yeah, I agree. I also like Suarez against Matt, but I think Muncy in this middle end seems like my favorite just because the price just seems so low for someone as good as Max Muncy.
Yeah, you never see Dodgers get priced down like this, right?
Also looks like Bryce Terang is not playing.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, not in the lineup. So good thing we already locked in Albies, but if you're hoping to go in the cheaper option, no Bryce Terang.
Further down at the third base position, John and I have been using a lot of Josh Smith from Texas because he stayed priced down. I mean, he's been floating between 2,800 and 31 now. But Brett Beatty seems to be a guy that we are kind of getting turned on to a little bit more. What's he hitting? 6 straight games or 5 out of his last 6. So he actually looks really, really good right now. Only 1 home run. He doesn't have any other extra base hits, but he's getting up there. 13 hits, couple of runs scored, couple of RBI, couple of walks. I think, in this matchup here, I think the lefty bat plays.
Yeah, I agree. I've been a big fan. He's been my cheap option go-to at third base for a little while now. I've been really into him. My only downside here is just because I like Waka a lot. So if I'm putting Waka in a lineup too, I can't go in. But if I'm not, I'm okay taking the Beatty option.
Yeah, I don't mind taking that Beatty option as well. I think that's definitely going to play. I was just kind of sifting through. I'm working on the multiple windows here, looking for that Milwaukee lineup. Who they got playing second? Oh, Montesterio. Yeah, I'm not even paying all the way down for him. But again, we said it's Albies or bust here with me and Henry. Let's go to the shortstop position where once again Mookie Betts looks charming as all heck. Bobby Witt is hotter than all heck going up against the gas can like Severino. Corey Seager, that lefty bat against JP France. I dig on that one. I mean, paying up at shortstop's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, it's Bobby Witt's my favorite here today. I mean, yesterday he went 4 for 5 with 2 homers. He had like 4 runs scored and 5 RBIs, or maybe I have that flipped. I mean, and he didn't even finish the game. They pulled him because it was too unfair. They couldn't let him keep doing that damage.
He's too good.
He's unreal what he can do. And obviously, we're not expecting another 4 for 5 with 2 homers, but and a stolen base. But I mean, he does half of that, and he can win you your slate. So yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. is just awesome.
Bobby Witt Jr. is just awesome. I just want to shout out to the comment. M. Rojas popped in Abraham Toro as a bargain third baseman. I mean, he's been hitting the ball well. Yeah, it's Jake Irvin on the mound. I don't mind it. It kind of balances things out for sure. And it does give you a nice little value option because Lord knows we like paying up for some of these guys. Moving down the way in shortstop, obviously pretty deep. CJ Abrams against Blackburn. I mean, I think that's going to be a good matchup for him. Yeah. Ezekiel Tovar is, leading off for Colorado in Toronto. Jeremy Pena is a guy that we've just been living off of. He's been doing real well. Like him against lefties a little bit more, but again, Dunning is pretty hittable. Any names jumping out here?
CJ Abrams probably my favorite. This just seems super cheap for CJ Abrams. I think he's a star. Obviously, the Washington lineup around him hasn't been great, but he's still going to provide value. He's got the power. He's got the speed. Again, Blackburn's pitching decent, but just CJ Abrams so good. I think he's such a great value at 4,500. I also like Willy Adames. Playing in Baltimore is a little tough with that. It's hard to get the ball out there, but Willy Adames hits righties super well. So I think he can be an interesting play. But yeah, definitely in this middle end, that CJ Abrams is by far my favorite.
Okay, a little lower than that, actually. I'm, been living off of Orlando Arcia and Blaze Alexander, both facing a lefty, both looking great against lefties. I'm very curious to see what that Arizona lineup looks like because they've had Blaze Alexander hitting second in that lineup, and if I can get me like a Ketel Marte, Blaze Alexander kind of a 1-2 punch there, or even better if they go with like Blaze Alexander and then Christian Walker. If they're floating next to each other in the lineup at all, I love getting that little mini stack right there of them side by side.
Yeah, I've been putting Blaze Alexander in a lot of lineups when he's playing because especially against lefties, he's been awesome. And his price has come up now, so he's not quite the bargain that he was even a few days ago. But still, I mean, he's hitting super well. So as long as he's in the lineup, and especially if he's up in the top half of that lineup against Mats, yeah, great option there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him, for the most part, he's been down below in like 7th or 8th in that lineup. I've seen him as high as 2. I've seen him in as 6 as well. So, maybe Suarez was getting the day off or something like that. Maybe Carroll was getting the day off and everybody kind of moved up a little bit. So Blaze had gotten into that spot in 6th. And, listen, we'll look for that lineup there as that's coming out and see where everybody's going to be. So I definitely like that. Further down here, I mean, do you dare? Do you dare? I don't think so.
Probably not. I think I'd rather just at least get Blaze Alexander for cheap or around there if you really need to go cheap. Going that far down at shortstop is just kind of a barren wasteland. The upside is so little that if you really need to save the money, you can take a shot on it, but there's just not a whole lot of value, I don't think, right now.
To the outfield we go, my friend. Please, please give me a reason not to use Ronald Acuna against Trevor Rogers or Shohei Ohtani or, please, Alvarez and Tucker both going up against Dunning. That's ridiculous. Trout just hits everybody. It doesn't matter. I mean, paying up here, do you have a favorite at all?
Man, it's so hard to choose a favorite amongst all of these top guys because they're all so fantastic. But I normally don't go for my favorite at the top, but I think I am going to go Acuna today. I think he's, not off to like the hottest start ever. I mean, he's still been amazing, but just with Acuna, our expectations are through the roof. And like you said, against the lefty riders today, he's going to start hitting lefties. And I just really like the Braves in this matchup, and so I like Ronald Acuna Jr.
Now, I like Spencer Steer. I like him as the cleanup hitter here. I don't like him at this price. That is that seems a little excessive. I would love to use a red stack here tonight and get like Encarnacion, Strand, and Steer in there, but this price tag to me is just to me it's a little bit much for Steer, which will push me down. Gurriel against Mats. I think there's definitely a great reason for that. Tyler O'Neill just keeps hitting home runs.
Yeah,
Yelich is probably off to one of the greatest starts, of his career right now. Going up against Tyler Wells, maybe that's kind of where I would want to live. Like instead of like paying up here, maybe I look at like Gurriel and then I look at somebody like Yelich and keep that price area.
Yeah, I can't agree more. There's just so many great bats in this middle area. It's really hard to go wrong. The outfield is just so deep, just so rich with talent. So it's really hard to choose a guy that I can argue too hard against in this area because, there's just so much talent.
Well, who's some of your faves?
I think I think in this middle area, I really like Christian Yelich, as you already highlighted. He's just been hitting so well. Again, I think Wells he has a bit of a homer problem. And so I really think that Yelich has an opportunity to hit a homer today, or at least provide a lot of damage. He has just been so locked into the plate. And when he's hitting well, I mean, he's an MVP, obviously. So it's really hard to go wrong with Christian Yelich.
Unless, of course, you want to talk about the fact that he looks like the love child of Pete Davidson and Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah, he does a little bit, but, we'll give him a pass for that because he can hit the baseball so well.
All right, so further down, names you like. I mean, Marcell Ozuna looks absolutely fantastic. You've got a good lefty bat in Evan Carter going up against JP France. Our good friend. How about this? Lars Nootbaar back first and foremost, but he's 4,300. That seems excessive.
Yeah, I normally, would love to get a guy coming back because they're going to be cheap, but 4,300 for someone who hasn't had any live at bats yet, it seems a little too risky for me because, they're coming in at 3,000. Sure, Lars Nootbaar is awesome. Go after him. But first game back to pay 4,300 for him, let's see the guy hit and make sure he's, has his timing down and can actually hit live pitching before we go pay 4,300 for him.
Yeah, that seemed so weird. Loving the chat room here, guys, by the way. Thank you so much. Cam, the ice cream man, the Thunder from Down Under, who slings the saucy desserts in Arizona right now, says I'm taking down a GPP tonight. From your lips to God's ears, baby. That would be phenomenal. He asks Henry, do you have any favorite home run props? So I guess as we're kind of like, we're here midway through the outfield, we'll talk some value outfielders in a second. But, Henry, if you're going to throw your money, your hard-earned dollars on this guy to hit a home run or that guy to hit a home run, we usually cover this at the end of the show, but let's throw it down right now. What's your home run call for the night?
My home run call for the night is Ronald Acuna Jr. I really think that he is just too good of a matchup here. And if I'm going to go somewhere, it's there. And I will say home run props are not my favorite for betting just because I think the value is not always there. It can be really hard to hit. But if you're going somewhere, I'm going Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, come on. dude hits so many home runs.
I feel like if you're gonna throw a half unit on a home run prop, it's gotta be like a plus 400 or better than that.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's like my call for tonight is actually it's Corey Seager. And I got Corey Seager at a home run. I think it was like plus 425.
Yeah, that's good value. Again, you can find places like that. It just feel like a lot of the times those better home run hitters, you're getting like plus 300 or so, and it just seems too low to bet on anyone for hitting a home run. But yeah, you get those good deals, or you get an Acuna, or you get a Seager, and it's plus 400 or better. Yeah, throw a little bet down on it.
And our friend Rance is in here, says Red's gonna smash. Mentions the Braves turbo slate tricky. Hate Giants games. Yeah, that Giants lineup, it is just not fun.
No,
just not. I don't really have much else to say about that other than the fact that it's not fun.
Yeah,
value outfield.
Braves.
What's that?
I was just saying, totally agree on Reds Braves though. Both Reds and Braves lineup. It's so fun.
Yum. I think that's what we put both in there. I think when we're filling out who our favorite stack. What's your favorite, your top stack tonight, and then your contrarian stack? What do you got?
My top is the Braves. I think some people are maybe going against them just because, like you said, they haven't been great against lefties. I don't care. Braves lineup is amazing. I think they're going to go after Rodgers. And on the contrarian side, I love the Royals today. I think they've got some great plays in there. I already give my love for Bobby Witt Jr., but I think I also love MJ Melendez. You could go to Sal Perez on the higher end at catcher, and we just saw what they did yesterday. They can be so explosive. Again, they're not going to put up the runs that they did yesterday, I don't think, where they put up 1 million in the first inning, but I still love the Royals today as my contrarian stack.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they only put up 9 runs on poor Hunter Brown, Yeah. Wow, that was I have Hunter Brown everywhere, dude. That was just abuse. I was flinching all day yesterday. Somebody was like, "Hey, you want to talk about that baseball game?" I'm like,
No. Yeah, I'm also a big Hunter Brown fan. That was painful.
My top stack was the Diamondbacks. I said that earlier. I put my contrarian stack as the Reds, so I'm right there with you, Rance. Right? Top stack, the Braves for Henry. The top contrarian stack for me is the Reds, because I do feel like Steer is a little overpriced, and that's going to shy people away. Yeah. But again, I love hitting in that lineup there with Encarnacion Strand batting third. I think that's a really nice spot. Really nice spot to be, no doubt.
Agreed.
No doubt. All right, let's cruise through here. All right, we're looking for bargain outfielders now. We were kind of toying through before we get down to like the super dirt cheap ones here. We're looking below Newt Bar. Guys like Brandon Nimmo's hot. If you're not using Waka, I don't see why you don't use Brandon Nimmo.
Yeah, big Brandon Nimmo fan, batting top of the lineup. Yeah, Waka's great, but yeah, if you're not going him, Nimmo's been awesome at the plate and batting 1 in what's still a pretty strong lineup, even though they've been pretty ugly. But still, Nimmo's got great value.
Throw down Randall Grichuk, who gets yet another revenge game narrative. We were talking about him going up against Colorado over the weekend. Well, now he's going up against the team that drafted him, and that's the St. Louis Cardinals, but he gets Steven Matz. So I think Grichuk at 3,900 is a fantastic price.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, you keep going. There's still more good values here. Cedric Mullins batting 5th. Obviously against Peralta, but I love Cedric Mullins. He looked ugly to start, but he looks like he's picking it up a little bit. Think maybe he can get the offense going. Solid pick there. Jake Fraley also is in there, batting 5th. I think he was a little higher up, but
there he is.
But yeah, Jake Fraley.
Yeah, Fraley at 4,200 again. Yeah, get another piece of that Reds lineup.
Yeah,
I'm in that with you. Looking further down here, so as we're getting through it, obviously Jason Outman, I like him against King. I think that's a good spot for him. You were talking about the Royals before. MJ Melendez is right here at 3,800.
Oh yeah, you can throw in Nelson Velasquez batting right behind him too. You want to start stacking some Royals. You have some cheap options here, right in the heart of that lineup against Severino.
I like that.
Nice.
I like that a lot. Jackson Churio's down here at 3,600 going up against Tyler Wells. I think that's a great spot for Churio.
Absolutely.
Good cost there. But here we go. I mean, if we're looking like low here, JJ Bleday is, lefty bat going up against Irvin. I think that's a good one. But I mean, listen, if we're talking about like value outfielders, like how do we not? I mean, even though it's going up against Freddie Peralta, where is he? Look at him.
Colton
$2,500 Colton Cowser batting second in this lineup.
And he has been so good. Like, he is so hot. I don't understand how, like, the prices of Westberg and Holiday, who doesn't even have a major league hit yet, and then you have Cowser here, who's crushing the ball, and he's 2,500. Like, come on.
I mean, it's borderline criminal, and I think it's probably. I mean, for me, it's an automatic.
I think so. I think it's an automatic too. 2,500 is way too cheap for batting second and just locked in at the plate. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even. I can't even. Looking further down, I don't think there's anything like, nothing crazy beyond that. I mean, nothing that I'm seeing in any kind of lineups right now as far as that goes. So, you want to jump to building a little lineup here?
Let's do it. Yeah,
let's do it. All right, so. We talked about paying up for Yamamoto. We both like Houck. We both like Waka. And I don't think either one of us really wanted to pay down further than that. Where do you want to go?
No, yeah, I'm again, love Yamamoto. I'd happy to pair him with either Houck or Waka. I'm also would be okay going Waka Houck, if we wanted to save a little money for the offense. I think those are both good options. I see we also had a comment earlier of playing Houck and Detmers in the same line. And thoughts on that. And
so in a cash lineup, if I'm not worried about, the extra win equity.
Yep, absolutely. I fully agree with you. Right format, you can absolutely do it. Both good pitchers. But if you're, playing a tournament where you really want to try to spike those double wins, it's a little harder to sell going the two pitchers against each other.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Beezy wants to know Houston for leverage. Houston, using the Houston lineup? Yeah. Oh, John and Pemba, our producer, is screaming at us in the chat here to do Wicks versus Seattle because Seattle just cannot help but strike out.
I can't argue against it. I could, Wicks is
all right. Well, I'll tell you what then. Do you want to go Houck or do you want to go Waka? You tell me. I'll let you pick that. I will happily side with John here and go with Wicks. Going up against Seattle.
Okay, well then I'll go Houck. Houck Waka was a really close toss-up for me, but I do lean Houck just a little bit.
All right. At the catcher position, we talked about the possibility of paying down. I haven't seen the lineup yet for the Red Sox, but I'm assuming that it's going to be Wong.
It's against a lefty. He was on the bench yesterday. There's no way he's not in there.
Okay. Do you want to pay all the way down for him, or do you want to go with somebody else?
I'd happy to pay all the way down to Connor Wong. He hit a home run yesterday. I'm sure he's going to be in the lineup. Why not?
I can't think of a reason. All right. Do you want to get your sneaky Royals in there and talk about Pasquantino, or do we want to go Arizona here and talk Christian Walker?
Oh, that's a tough decision. I love both Diamondbacks and Royals a lot. We've already saved so much money already, though. I feel like maybe we should pay up and go with a little bit bigger bat with Walker.
Okay, listen, I had him already. Come on. I couldn't not do it. We've got a great average salary here right now, so we're definitely going to be able to spend up, in mid-tier ranges and stuff like that. Third base, where we liked Berger. That was one of our calls there. We could go down. Muncy. You like Muncy at $4,000.
Do like Muncy at $4,000. That just seems so cheap for Muncy.
It's crazy. And it's just bringing our average up here so much. I mean, do you almost have to go
Bobby Witt Jr.?
You have to, right? I know you love it.
I passed on the Royals for, at first base. I think you got to give me Bobby Witt Jr.
All right. Well, then we need a value outfielder here. To kind of fit in. We got 37.50 right now, but if we can find ourselves like a nice little value play, which I think there are plenty of options.
Johnson Jackson trio. which
John Jackson. We put Churio into the lineup at 3,600 for us yesterday for that. So we could do that, and that would leave us 39 and 39. We can get your boy Cedric Mullins in there, or we could do Grichuk against Mats.
Man, I actually kind of really like Will Benson against Flexen, batting second. I think I prefer him of all of the guys right there. Looking at it now, actually,
that doesn't bother me at all. It does not
we
bother
kind of
me at all.
no big stack here, but there's a lot of good players in this lineup.
This is, I mean, I really like this lineup for cash.
Oh yeah,
like I love this lineup for cash. If you wanted to, twist it around and do some GPP stuff and get a stack in there, we got a couple of minutes here. Do you want to tweak it and pick a stack? What was your big stack for tonight? Oh, you wanted to do the Royals stack though.
Yeah, I love a Royals stack. My top was Braves. So if you want to go higher price, I go Braves. But I think my favorite to just go after the stack tonight is the Royals.
All right, well then,
too fun.
Watch this, because I'm looking at the lineup right now. And what if we did this for you? Can we do this? I don't even know if we can.
Switch to Sal and Vinny P. Can
we do that? Can that fit? I don't know if that's going to fit. That's probably not going to work for us to get Sal Perez in there at 48. But here you go. So let's get Connor Wong back over here. Whoops. Let's throw him back in here, because that gives us, we still have the Pasquantino. We could probably, if you wanted, we could move one of these outfielders up.
Yeah, we could switch Jackson out for MJ Melendez.
Oh, Jackson out for Melendez. There you go. There you go. So that gets you another one there. You still have $500 where you can kind of play around here. So, and that gives you your Royals stack. The Benson gives us our shade of reds. That's a nice little bonus here. I mean, listen, there's definitely a bunch of different directions that you can take this, but this gives you your Royals stack in there, and I think we're good.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it as well. All right. Well, let's see. Anybody else chime in? Anybody need anything? Oh, somebody said Cam said Perkins, but
not in the lineup.
All right. Well, once again, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me and Henry here. Again, I'm looking at the YouTube page right now, and there's one like clicked. Come on, people. It's a beautiful way to show free support. It's all it is. Just press the button, hit like. I mean, be awesome if you subscribed as well. But even just the like button, it just helps us out here on the Fantasy Alarm channel. It's just a great free way to show your appreciation. As always, I will say, X-Men Entertainment wants to know thoughts on Jacob Young. I could definitely listen. I like Jacob Young. He's got good speed upside, but it's that Nats lineup that just kind of.
Yeah, and he hasn't really done much at the plate yet. National lineup doesn't have a lot of juice. I don't know if I can fully endorse Jacob Young yet at this point.
Yeah, me neither. But I definitely understand the old college try to make that happen. But all right, well, there you go. There's your example lineup. We gave you a nice little cash one there as well. Again, thank you so much, everybody. Henry, any last words here as we get everybody into the slate tonight?
No, let's just hope that the weather gods are a little kinder to us going forward and through the rest of the day, and just go kill it.
All right. Well, thanks so much to everybody out there for tuning in. Thanks for the commentary. Big thank you to our producer, John and Pemba, helping us out as always. For Henry Wilson, I'm Howard Bender. This has been the Fantasy Alarm live stream. We'll catch you next time.